Hi, this is Gertrude from Portraits by Gertrude, whatever, depends on what country you are. And we are starting with this image. We are going to edit it. First, I hate um, angled lines, so I'm going to adjust it so it's straight. And first I started in Lightroom. I made the highlights lower and the lowlights of the shadows a little bit more visible, and that's about it. And of course the noise, if there is, I eliminated it. The color aberration, I eliminated it. So we are gonna start duplicating the image. I made a action because that's just one click, and otherwise you have to go right click and then duplicate and then okay, and that's more work, and this is just 2 clicks and done. And normally I use my other action that I made, but I'm going to show you today what that action does. I go to filter, camera raw, and I up the sharpness, and we go to 100% because I want to make sure that it's a nice sharpness. And we can also do a little bit, no contrast, only sharpness, and okay. And then I'm adding a mask that is inverted. This is actually what this action does for me at once. That's why I made it. You saw how many steps it was. Really, if you want to get a nice workflow, I would make actions yourself. It's pretty easy. You just do record, and then you start working what you want it recorded. I'll make a video of that soon also. Well, we got that going, and then I'm going to the brush. I'm going to set it on 100%. I'm making it a bit larger, and I'm just gonna go over my model. I only want my model to be sharp. I like the backdrop to stay soft because I use a small aperture anyway. Oh, I see his lipstick. We are going to fix that later. And we are going. You can hit the backslash for checking if you got everything. If you paint like this, you'll be doing that, so that's kind of irritating. So I have to remember where I want it to be painting. Otherwise I make that mistake often, as you can see. I forget that sometimes. And then I'm going to the lower layer and adding some contrast and making it a bit darker. And here comes the little bit of problem we might have. And we are going to go back to this layer, and I will be painting it better so there won't be halos either inside or outside much, because here it's always difficult to not get halos. That's why you need to use a small brush. Oh, that's there anyway. Here maybe, yes. Oh, with that fur it's pretty difficult to do. Sometimes you just gotta go. Well, actually we're gonna use some little bit of aperture, a little bit of opacity, so we can do a little bit so it's not stopped all at once. And I'm gonna see if I want something here, some highlights. If you know where you want some highlights, you can just also add some of the contrast. And then we are going to dodge and burn, and we make a curved layer that's a bit lighter. This is my way. There are 20 million ways to do dodge and burn, but this is my way and I kind of like it this way. So, and we make a layer with the lowlights, and we invert it as well. You can name them, but I always start with high and then low, so I know what it is, and it saves time for me. So we are gonna paint in some highlights. The opacity I usually use about 20, and then we just start painting on the light areas. It might be a little bit sharper. And we're just gonna paint. This is the hardest part, actually, the longest part on the whole image. I do this is my style. I like to show off wrinkles or muscles or just shapes, general shapes of the dog that every owner knows of his dog. And that's just what I like. That's my way, and it's a way that not many photographers use, which makes me happy because it's difficult as a photographer to get your own signature. So I'm glad I have mine, and it took some searching as well, so I don't think it's gonna stay my signature or only mine signature for long, but we'll see. I'm teaching you guys, so you guys know my secret soon as well. And I urge you to just go and explore what you like. Maybe edit, maybe change it a bit. Just see what you like about it. I keep seeing some halo here, so I'm just gonna check one more time what it might be, but I think it's just in the image. See, it's just in the image. That's gonna bug me. But we're just gonna keep going for now. We were with the highlights. Oh, not, sorry. Now we are in the highlights again. My dog, Gizmo, this is him, is one of the worst dogs to do this kind of stuff on because he's multicolored. That makes it pretty difficult to see where highlights are and where not because of his his skin. But even though in the dark parts you can see highlights, see here you can see highlights, here you can see it reflects. Those little things. After a while you also know where they might be, and I know from experience in watching my dog that he has about 4 rimples here, So I know that those are not just his marks, but also um, the lowlights. And I photoshopped him so often, so I kind of know where they are. And after a while, you get to know it as well. See here again, low light, highlight, low light. You don't want to too pronounced because you do need to realize that's why you're doing it by hand and not automatically, because sometimes it's just you don't want it too obvious, and other parts you do want obvious, and that's why you're hand painting instead of just using clarity, which we are using later. But this is because now this way you have total control over everything in the image, and I like control. I want to keep. I always want to stay in control. That's a bit of a how do we call it? A bad thing, something like that. It gives me actually gives me panic attacks when I don't get when I'm not in control or I can't be in control. But that's something different. And I'm a perfectionist. I did learn that sometimes it's just a waste of time to keep going on an image or something. Actually, earlier today I was redoing some of my old images and with more of this new style I did, and then I just put them together after two images, and I was like, oh, that's like wasting, because for me it's obvious, but for clients or because of social media and how they fix or not fix images and change images, it sometimes just doesn't help. And you can do it for a client, of course, again, but this one was a model, so it wasn't that obvious, and she wouldn't mind that I didn't go through with it because it would be the same images anyway. And she's pragmatic like me, like, yeah, you can better use your time than redoing those. I already love them and how they are, so don't waste extra time on it. But sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. And as you can see, I just keep painting. I'm actually doing the low lights, as you can see now. I like to use something for the dogs, because either something with wood, because you can use the grains as a nice extra touch um, of painterly effect. Um, because the dog itself it's usually a bit difficult to get the painterly effect on, um, or making it nice actually. So I like to use either a chair or a crate or just something. Um, it helps for the dog usually to sit on. They stay on it. Some dogs just hate it and won't go on it. Well, that's no problem. Then just use the floor, and usually some fabric. At this point, we didn't use the fabric because we had this totally fake. Don't worry. Um, it was a sort of a scarf from what was supposed to look like from a fox, and it was of course totally fake, and I kind of like it that it was that fake. And of course I like it because I don't hurt animals. But I put it around him and I just tucked it in somewhere over here, and then the sleeve just went to the floor, and now it just looks like he's a lion, and I love it. So it kind of ended up being kind of cute, and so it's pretty cool. Sometimes you just gotta think of something different. you know. And but I do keep in mind, around their necks they don't mind, but on their heads, a lot of your clients will not, or the dogs will not allow it. Um, it's just something that they're not used to. Around their neck, they're used to because of the colors, and I'm starting to make my own um, props because I like steampunk, and the normal steampunk stuff that's available is for people with shoulders, and dogs don't have those. So I am starting to, I'm working already on some items that they are going to go around their necks and then hang something below for like a pocket or whatever. And I like to just try, if you're starting a business or just doing it for fun, just try to be original. It's difficult because everything is done already pretty much, but just try to find your own way. And if that way is what everybody else does, then it's fine as well, as long as it is your way and what you like. Of course, you want clients. Oh, wait, that goes wrong. Of course, you want clients and they might want something else, but you will eventually get the right clients as long as you are doing what you want to make. I worked 15 years, about 15 years with clients, and in the beginning I did everything, and I started to hate some parts of it because it just wasn't my thing. And they always came with photos from Pinterest or anything else, and I was like, that's not what I do, but okay, I'll do it. And then they keep asking for that, and after a while I was just so sick of it, so I decided either to do a lot of model calls and make sure that I got the portfolio that I wanted, and I did that. And then with only showing that, people just gradually started to say, "Oh, just do your thing. I love all your images, so no worries." And that's what you want. Of course, don't think too much about making money if you want to do what you love, because that can totally, yeah, fuck up your your style. And if you're still searching for your style, no worries. Just grab what you can, because that way is the only way to learn what you do and do not like by doing it. So in the beginning it's no problem, but if you already know something that you don't like, just don't use it in your portfolio, don't show it in the portfolio, and make sure that you only have images that you love in the portfolio and that you want clients to come to you. And I can talk so much longer, and I can keep doing this. I don't know why I keep doing this. It's just pretty cool. Okay, well, let's go on right now. Oh, wait, one more thing. One more thing, because I did this shadow, and then I gotta do this one as well. And with the adjustment layers, you can just change it pretty easily. So always use those, because it's just way better. Because you got a dodge and burn tool over here, but those are directly on your background image or whatever you call it, and then you cannot go back on it. Yeah, by history and going back, but nothing else. And that's not. It just restricts you. I've been seeing that little spot over there, and so I'm gonna fix it. I press G, and G is for me the patch tool. And learn your commands. honestly say, because those makes it way faster as well. I got a little glitch here and here, but they're good because they're not the original lighting as this is, but for this image it does give a little spark, and that's pretty important. So we're gonna leave it that way. Oh yeah, the lipstick, but I'm gonna flatten it here first, and then I'm much better able to do this. You can also use the clone tool, but I kind of like it to use it this way, because this way it's kind of hard right now. This way it just keeps the the grading on, like from dark to light. It keeps it, and with the clone tool it just clones this darkness over here, and that's not what I like. I usually use both, first cloning and then the patch tool, so the grading comes back. And we are going to, this is the last part, camera raw. Wait, you can duplicate the image just to be sure, but I know that I want it in the whole image, but sometimes you might not. And I am going to the clarity, and always check at 100%. That's kind of important because you want to know that it's still sharp, but you also want to know that you didn't add back in some grain, some noise. And because I do have some grains here, but it's not irritating. It's no problem for it. And so we checked that, and I want it a bit warmer. I could erase it, but then I lose the sharpness that I actually added in, so we don't want that. And then I press OK, and because I know I especially want it on the backdrop, because outside shoots I don't want it, because I want the background to stay soft. But in here with this fine art painterly effects, I do want it on the backdrop as well, because it gets more painted that way. So my duplication isn't necessary. And then I go to adjustments, and I want another curves for the dark, and invert, brush a little bit lower, maybe a lot bigger the brush. Oh wait, and then I just kind of want it to be a little darker around areas. The backdrop had light spots over here, so it's not from editing, although it irritates me kinda, because people can think that way, but it's not. And then you have a image of a dog in the old masters kind of style, and we are going to flatten it for saving. And I'll show you the beginning. This is what we begin with, and this is how it ended up. So follow me on my YouTube channel for regularly videos. I try not to post every day because I would love to post every day, but I can understand that not everybody is waiting for me to do that. But I try 3 times a week or something, and in the worst case once a week. And it's usually just see me edit, how I edit, I explain things. And if you want something specific to be explained, just leave a reaction in the reaction box, and I'll try to videotape that for you. For now, I want to say have a nice day and see you later.